Landowners Michael and Susie Moorhead, shown here with Lynette Batt of Sustainable Stables, are stewards of 240 pristine acres of land in rural Danbury, North Carolina. The Moorheads are in the process of developing their land into a horse farm, and they are doing so using sustainable principles and practices. A unique part of their plan involves harnessing a traditional, low-impact form of energy to harvest fallen or diseased trees on site to be used as lumber. To carry out this plan, they enlisted the help of expert timber harvester John Hartman and his two draft horses, Stella and Dolly.
Come on. Come on. Ha, ha, ha. So about 10, 11 years ago, I guess, I started doing this. Okay, girls, get with it. Ha! Come on. Atta girl. Atta girl. Ha! I started getting calls from people that wanted to either sell or harvest a little timber for their own use, but they didn't want to clear cut their whole property. A 12-foot log that's 14 inches on the small end is basically straight and has no defects. Will be 100 board feet. Whoa! Whoa! As I say, not everybody wants to clear cut their place, and it's a way to do timber harvest in a way that I think is more environmentally sustainable than to clear cut everything and then replant it. See, this is Dolly. She was born on my wife's and my farm about 10 or 11 years ago. Her mother was the first horse we ever owned. This here, come up here, baby. This is Stella. Step up. Whoa. And I bought her from a friend of mine who also taught me a whole lot about working horses. We got a great spot. We're living in a time when there's a lot of talk about alternative energy, and what people either forget or never knew is that these things represent the original alternative energy. Come on now! When work got too heavy or too demanding for people to do with the muscles in their arms and their backs, they turned to draft animals over 1,000 years ago. Come on. Ha! Atta girl. Ha! 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 Whoa. Back when the land-grant college system was studying things like draft animals, it was determined that a horse can pull, anything a horse can pull at all, it can pull 27 and a half feet without injuring itself. Now how they come up with that, I suppose, is lost to history, but to this day, if you go to a horse pull, that's always the distance. It's always 27 and a half feet. We've gotten so used to thinking that all heavy work has to be done with electricity or internal combustion engines, and plenty of it does and plenty of it will. But draft animals really do have a place, even in the modern energy picture, and I think ever more so, because they run on fuel that you can grow on the farm. Got it? Oh. Girl. And you don't have to be much of a mechanic, which I certainly am not, to work with them. And they would sell two at the end of the year, heat two, so they had a brush team to start. And so those are all reasons that I think horses really have a bright future in terms of farming and timber management. I hope they do anyway. Most of the people I work for, they live on their property, or at least they go there a lot, and they want it to still be the woods. I consider it a privilege to work with folks who are thinking these things and who are interested in taking a realistic look at a resource, but also realizing that, well, for us to continue to have that resource, we need a low-impact, less damaging way to manage it.
Eventually, the timber harvested by John will be processed on site using a portable sawmill and used to construct a cabin, barn, and run-in shed for the horses. From tree to building, the wood will never leave a half-mile radius. This form of low-impact, sustainable logging is just one of the many ways the Moorheads are going green in their effort to build a modest but thriving horse farm.